Gut health refers to the health of your gastrointestinal system, including the trillions of microorganisms in the gut microbiome that are vital to digestion, nutrient absorption and the immune system. To tell us more about it, I'm joined by Health Food Symmetry CEO Gordon Edwards. Gordon, thanks for joining us today.
Tylah, thanks very much for having us.
So could you start by telling us more about gut health and its importance?
I'll tell you one of the issues there before I start about gut. One of the issues we have, of course, is over-processed food and sugars and fats. The modern diet has created an obesity epidemic, a diabetes epidemic, a non-alcoholic fatty liver, heart disease, and the microbiome has literally been under attack. We're not getting our 2 and 5. There's about 5% of Australia that gets it, the rest don't. And so the gut is essentially from your mouth to your colon. So consequently, every part of that has a job to do. And probably the most important part, besides the gut breaking down the food and the small intestine taking nutrition out of it, is that the colon itself is a major engine. It does hormones, it does enzymes, and it talks to the brain through the vagus nerve. And 80% of the messaging comes from the colon to the brain. So when someone says you are what you eat, it's very true. And so consequently, you have to get a balance right. Because if you don't, if the good bacteria are reduced and the bad bacteria are bacteria that are looking for sugars and fats, then they will tell the brain through the vagus nerve, give me sugars, give me fats. And that's one of the reasons that people get cravings. So the gut itself has to be in balance, and there are ways of improving it and making it healthier, but you've just got to be careful which way you go about it.
So what has research shown about gut health and how have you seen the industry advance?
If I exclude the gut and the stomach itself and the small intestine, and I'll focus on the colon being what it is, being the engine of your body. So research has shown that you have to have a perfect balance. Research has shown that you have to feed it. And good bacteria are fed by fibre. Dietary fibre / prebiotic, because dietary fibre and prebiotics are sometimes a different thing. So a prebiotic, by definition, goes undigested through the small intestine, and when it reaches the colon, it starts getting fermented by the good bacteria. And then these produce short-chain fatty acids, and short-chain fatty acids are what feed the other good bacteria. Now, it's massively important because one of the short-chain fatty acids, butyrate, is the major anti-inflammatory thing in your body. And where our products win out is that, and this is going to sound a bit strange, but Professor Rogeri, who's a head of RMIT research for us, working with Cyril on our products, his words are easy to relate to. 1 serve of our product, or a heaped teaspoon, is the equivalent of 1 to 2 serves of vegetables. That's with all the vitamins, with the fibres, the polycosanols, antioxidants. So this is massively important because, as I said, we're not getting the 2 and 5, but where it really gets going is our product ferments all the way through the colon. And therefore you get those short-chain fatty acids, where inulin, guar and some of the isolated soluble fibres, the more modern fibres, which are in every piece of over-processed food, they do it at the front. They're almost like rocket fuel, that's why you get bloating. And then you've got nothing left to feed the bad bacteria at the back, and that's where you have these diseases coming.
And what's the current market like for products in the space, and how is it growing?
So it's around 180 billion globally. It'll be 270 by 2034. That's just for the gut health market there. Then you've got the metabolic market, which is weight loss, how that works. You've got the immune market. There's a range of things that will be pushing the whole market that for the things that you can put in your gut and to get healthy for around $1 trillion in the year. So it's important, but where it gets really interesting is that the health and wellness there has impacted so badly on governments and their budgets and hospitals that you're getting to the stage there that it's tens and tens of billions. So if the government would just settle down and relax and work out what the issues are, and we know what the issues are, it's just that it's pretty hard to engage them to move it forward.
And I know you've mentioned some already, but can you tell us more about your own products and where they fit in the market?
It's sugarcane, and I have to predicate that with the fact that the sugar has been removed. So we invented a technology which allows us to take green cane from the field. It's not burnt. We cut above the ground. We test in the field before we harvest for agricultural residues, and that's all of them. That's the DDT, dildrin, and our cut-off point is 0. So we test before we harvest, while we harvest, and the finished product. And a good point of that is that we're in fertile gut, which is the product that's being fed to the IVF project for pregnant women, trying to get pregnant, lactating women. So we have to have a perfect product. And Mother Nature was having a capricious day when she made sugarcane. She went, I'm going to make a product, and if you eat too much of what's inside, it can hurt you. But I'm going to make the plant that can take it all away, because sugarcane, by definition, can lower blood glucose levels. We've got pre-diabetic claims. It's good for cholesterol. It's all of these things, and yet sugar is the other side of things. So yeah, it's an amazing plant, seriously amazing plant.
And what can you share about the manufacturing process?
I could tell you, but I have to kill you. No, it's we've developed a technology which lets us take the sugar, one of the water-soluble molecules out, and nothing else. If you put our product and some white sugar together in a container and send it off next to a stick of sugarcane, exactly the same analytical. We even keep the molasses part of it there. So the technology is proprietary. No one else has ever done it. It's protected by trade secrets. We do protect our research by patents though. We've got acid reflux, GERD, non-alcoholic fatty liver and IBD are all protected by patents.
Finally, how do you anticipate the market changing moving forward, and are there any parallels that you can see?
Oh, mate, the psyllium husk, inulin, wheat dextrin, they're all old style, been around a long time, and they haven't been proven to do what they're supposed to. We've just had a RMIT and CSIRO with a 3 PhD trial happening the previous year. And because Raj has used this before in research he's done, we were the control. We were up against the top 20 fibres in the world. And we kicked their ass. I don't know if you're allowed to say that, but we did. And they have peer-reviewed publications coming out now. And consequently, they're going to award a star rating, because people understand it with Google and nutrition. And we're 5 stars. And everyone else just tapers off. Now, that means that we've got peer-reviewed publications with absolute research showing that we're the best prebiotic in the world. And where that's kind of handy is that we've just engaged Hamish Thompson, the ex-CEO of Mars Australia and their global marketing director, as a distributor for our product, and also as a bit of a marketing guru, if you like. So we're a little company with a good product that's just engaged probably the best marketing person on the planet. Hey, I like that.
Gordon, thank you so much for your time today and for all of your insights. It's been fascinating.
Thanks, Tyler. Appreciate it.
For more ASX news and analysis, subscribe below.